we've been dealing with several hail cores throughout the entire morning time frame, but this one truly one of the more impressive ones, obviously with that rotation to coincide with it. So please get to your safe place. You want to go to the lowest level of your home. If you by any chance are headed out the door, this is the time to wait. Your boss will understand. If not, have them take it up with Leland. It's one of those things. This is a safety issue that is currently taking place for us. So we've got a lot happening, heavy downpours, visibility quite low for so many. And then of course we do have that tornado warned storm that is currently to move its way out. Here's another view. You actually can see all of that cloud to ground lightning associated with it. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm, that's going to include Standing Stone State Park. So if you're familiar with the area, that's something that we're looking at right now as far as this system is concerned. And as Leland pointed out, the hail core has been quite fruitful with this particular system. We're getting some reports upwards of ping pong size hail, and there's a good chance we'll continue to see more of that moving its way in. But a main concern obviously is going to be the fact that we are indeed dealing with quite a bit in the way of that rotation with this particular cell when we do look at the wind shear. But heavy showers, this is going to be one of those systems that we want you to continue to get to your safe place. And if you have friends and family in this area, please make sure that they are staying weather aware as well. Sometimes, as we all know, during the hustle and bustle of a morning commute, things can easily get shifted to the wayside where maybe we're not paying attention to the weather as much as we should with a situation and setup like we have going on right now. So there it is, continuing to move its way just off to the east. The forward motion is going around 35 miles per hour. So let me pan that out for you as it continues to move out. Good news is that schools in this area are closed for today. So that is a praise report as far as having any school buses out. That is very helpful. We're not having to worry about that this morning, but it is making a very swift movement just off to the east, 35 miles per hour. So looking at this, we're looking at Crawford. If it continues to stay together around 8:16, that's quite some time from now, but that is if it continues to move in. Regardless, these storms, Leland, are continuing to be on this boundary, and they're really not deviating a ton. So not only do we have the issue of the rotation, the hail, but also the flooding.
Yeah, it goes back to what we said earlier today. Scattered showers and storms for us today, but where the storms develop, and those are severe storms, then there could be enough rotation to give us some of the warning. So Nikki D was pointing this out just a moment ago. Many of the schools through here are out for today. This list is on our website at NewsChannel5.com. There are about a dozen or so, just over a dozen that are out. Also at NewsChannel5.com, you can find safe places. At the moment, none are listed through here, but that may change as we go through the day. Do have a couple that are open back over in Hickman County there for us this morning. But there is the wide view. So look at all of that lightning showing up right through there. But there's a nice cluster of lightning now in northern Davidson County, near Rivergate, back into Sumner County. That line back over to Clarksville, Hopkinsville, and even more back out to our west. There is a boundary through here. The question for a part of today is, where is this boundary going to end up? The problem for that is twofold. Number one, storms happen, and you may get a little bit of rotation with this. But the second part of this is as that boundary is there and more storm continues to ride along that, then we may get what we call training, rain on top of rain on top of rain, and that could aggravate places that have seen rain already and trigger some localized flash flooding. So again, that's part of our reasoning in trying to pinpoint the boundary, but along that boundary right now from Nashville, look at the rain, the lightning that's showing up down around the Hendersonville area, back again near Rivergate, into the northern part of Davidson County, back to near Greenbrier. Those showers extending into Sumner County. Here we go in Macon County right now. And then down back over to Jackson County and Overton County. Here's a closer view of all of the rain there from Salina back over to Burristown. This is moving eastward here at about 35 miles per hour for us right now. So you see it from Salina down to Burristown. So those of you in Allens, those of you in Livingston, go ahead, get in your safe place. This activity may be headed your way. Go ahead and just grab your iPad, grab your cell phone. That way you can follow us with streaming information here at News Channel 5 and on our app at newschannel5.com. But there is the replay there of that line moving in. And again, moving eastward here at about 35 miles per hour. So there we see the activity there. You've got one part of the county under the tornado warning, and then more of Clay County, part of Pickett County there under the severe thunderstorm warning, that area in yellow. But right in through here where we've got the red, where we've got a little bit of the green, that's where we're seeing a little bit of that rotation for us right now. Bring that in just a little bit closer here. So Columbus Hill, back over to Carlock, that slides on off toward the east. Hillman, there looks to be a little bit of rotation there, so we'll keep an eye on that. But the bigger threat is right in through here, and that line pushing eastward here at about 35 miles per hour. Burristown, Hillham, Holly Springs, Livingston, this is all sliding your way. So if you see your name listed there, at this moment, get into your safe place. Again, grab the cell phone, grab the iPad, or just turn the TV up loud so that you can follow us until this storm cell is to the other side of you.
And there's a good chance it is really loud because obviously we've got a lot of lightning with this, a lot of cloud to ground lightning, and we're also dealing with pea-sized hail. We're now getting reports of pea-sized hail around York Highway in Jackson County. I realize that is nothing extreme, but obviously, with it being just a frightful situation for some, when you are under a tornado warning, any unknown noise can cause a little bit of unease, and that is what we are here for, to walk with you. So a spotter has reported pea-sized hail on York Highway in Jackson County. So quickly, if you are in this area and you have not yet, as Leland pointed up, turn up your television. I want you to get your closed-toe shoes, get your helmet, a bicycle helmet, and if you have time, put on your jeans. You want something kind of thick. I want you to get to the lowest level of your home, or you can get in the center of your home, whatever is safest and whatever you do have. If you have young children, particularly an infant, car seats are a really great choice. They are made for impact. Obviously, if your child is more of a toddler, their legs are going to end up a little bit, but babies, car seats are great. Have their lovey, have a blanket, have an activity if you can for the young ones to do. If you've got pets, you want to make sure they're leashed up so they don't run about. And if you've got a crate, go ahead and put that in your safe place as well. Right now, if you are in Jackson, Clay, Overton counties, you should be doing all of this as we speak. And as you get to that safe place, I want to make sure you're closing the doors behind you. As you exit your bathroom, you're closing the door. You're exiting your bedroom, close the door. That may sound silly and an extra move, but that is just going to continue to insulate you as you make your way to the center location. And we are dealing with, this is the first tornado warning of the morning, and most likely it will not be the last. So if you are saying, well, this isn't me, well, this is some of our friends and family, and we're going to walk through it together until everybody is in the clear. This is a very active day. We talk a lot about that boundary. I want to put the winds on there for you, and it's pretty easy to see where that boundary is. And of course, we've got the rotation of the tornado that is a concern, but also the flood issue. Already flood advisories for a lot of us as we make our way into Montgomery, Stewart County, because all of this, you see how the winds are going? They are riding this line. It's almost as if they're riding a wave in the ocean, but that wave doesn't have a lot of movement to coincide with it. But our tornado warned storm continues to be just off to our east. It is very loud. We've got quite a bit in the way of hailstones associated with it, as well as when it comes to that cloud to ground lightning and intense rain. This storm system itself continues to move its way just off to our east, right around 35 miles per hour. So that is a nice forward motion, but of course it's still taking its time as it makes its way. This is a tornado warned storm via our radar. We do not have any confirmation. Correct me if I'm wrong, Leland.
Right.
We don't have any confirmation right now as far as anything being observed on the ground. But you can see where we've got some really tight rotation trying to take place. It is now canceled for Jackson and Clay as it continues to move its way out. So we're continuing to see things swiftly pushing through, but obviously staying and riding on that boundary, Leland.
Yeah, definitely so. So again, we go back and show you the updated information for the warning right now. And with that, we're watching for locations that are in our northeastern areas. You've got a couple of counties there on the other side of Fentress. That's just outside of the News Channel 5 viewing area. but they have now pulled Jackson County from this. They've pulled Clay County. So at the moment, Overton County, you remain under a tornado warning. Right now, the time 7:38. If it lasts until expiration time, it would be out until 8 o'clock. But again, through here, it's this northeastern area. When these storm cells were back over near Stewart County, Montgomery County, they produced a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, actually even produced a severe thunderstorm warning in Sumner County and Macon County, where about a half hour ago, there are at least about 400 or so customers without electricity in the Macon and Sumner County area. So this storm, as it has now moved east, produced the severe storm warning, but now produced our first tornado warning of the morning. I'll step out of the way and look at the lightning count. This lightning count is for just what you see on screen. So that goes from back into western Kentucky through Christian County, back over to Clarksville, Lafayette, Macon County, Sumner County, northern Davidson County. You've got over 1,000 lightning strikes that are showing up with this. We'll bring this in a little bit closer, and even though the lightning count goes down, just in this view, with this storm cell here and this storm cell here, you're looking at over 600 lightning strikes. So this storm is quite electric out there, and be respectful of lightning.
Yes.
It's a dangerous resource out there. Be very respectful of lightning. So let's take this, replay the movement here for the last 1 hour. You can see that cluster there just inside of Overton County, kind of on the Overton County, Clay County line there for us this morning. So there's the outline of the storm for Livingston. Now, Salina, we did talk about the fact that Clay County had been pulled out of the tornado warning, but we still have parts of Clay County, Jackson County, and even Pickett County here with Byrdstown that remain under the severe thunderstorm warning. So all of you all make sure that you are taking this storm very seriously. Look at the hail that is showing up with this. So at times, hail has been 3/4 of an inch. At one point, I saw it come up at over 1.5 inches. So you're talking about ping pong ball size hail. There is some of the rotation. So right here where you've got the red and the green next to each other, that means that maybe where we're seeing a little bit more of some of that rotation that is taking place there, Nikki D. And again, you can see why the Weather Service now only has this warning out for Overton County.
Exactly. And when it comes to the rotation, it has slightly weakened. So that is some really great news. But just as something weakens, it can also re-strengthen. So we are not yet in the complete clear. But with this tornado warning that we currently do have, the rotation has slightly weakened. The potential of the tornado is still, though, over in Overton County. The main threat, though, these damaging wind gusts within this system itself. They're gusting upwards of 60+ miles per hour. And as you were talking about, Leland, the hail core being very loud and rambunctious in Livingston as well as the Monroe areas. So a lot happening with this particular cell. And I'll show you, here's a look at that particular hail core. This is using VIL. It's vertically integrated liquid. So we're able to see it. Let me put it in motion for you, and you'll see how it builds right there, and then it starts to go down. That means the hail core is currently falling to the sky. So a lot of times when we're seeing this, we're seeing the hail in the atmosphere and not necessarily falling. So right now we're really noticing some of that decreasing, which is beneficial in a way, aggravating for others, but it is helpful to start to see some weakening with this tornado warning. And someone just said they're kind of confused. Someone may be saying a tornado warning here or there. Here's what happens with a tornado warning. It covers the distance needed. So sometimes that encompasses several counties. Leland just pointed out how the tornado warned counties are now getting smaller because of the forward motion. It's moving its way off to the east around 35 miles per hour. So if you're in a vehicle, you pass 2 stop signs behind you, those streets are behind you. Same thing with the tornado. It's already moved past those areas. So to make sure there's zero confusion, the tornado warned cell did go over other areas, and it continues to move its way just to the east. You'll notice right around into parts of Livingston right now, and I'll put back for you where you can see just all of this electricity, a lot of cloud to ground lightning, and you also can tell where we've got just a little bit of a in bold inkling pushing in parts of Livingston, and that is indicating some really gusty winds also associated with it. So the rotation itself is still there. It has weakened, but we still have a warned tornado with us. So if you are just joining us, we've been dealing with a tornado warned storm. It originally was in Clay, Jackson, and Overton. Now it continues to move its way eastward, 35 miles per hour. Our main concern right now is going to be closer to that Livingston area. So if you're close to Collins Cove Road, Copeland Cove Road, if you're over in parts of Appeline, Oakdale, Rocky Ridge, Allred, we want you to get to your safe place. I realize some of you probably aren't having a ton of excitement out your window at this moment, but it continues to move its way into your direction. So even though you may not have heavy rain right now, you are on the edge of this tornado warning. So go ahead and get to the lowest level of your home. If you have friends and family in this area, go ahead and give them a phone call. We know the hustle and bustle of this time of the morning can be a little crazy. As far as something positive, a lot of schools have closed in these areas. In fact, Clay, Jackson, Overton, Pickett, Fentress counties, Putnam counties, there is no school there today. So that is some great news because, Leland, this is just the beginning of a very active day.
Yeah, definitely so for us out there. We've got scattered showers and storms that are a possibility for us today. As those storms pop, they may have the rotation needed for these tornado warnings. Then tonight, that's when activity is expected to be more widespread. So by day, while one part of the area may be dealing with severe weather and tornadoes, another part of the area may be enjoying some sunshine.
Which is quite deceiving because a lot of times you go, oh, well, that's not for me. But this is a system that really will start to overtake and really consume all of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, unfortunately, overnight. So kind of think of your morning, your afternoon, scattered activity, but we'll have severe storms. We cannot rule out tornadic activity. Obviously, we're dealing with it now, and then more of that will take place as we make our way overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Yep. When you've got something this strong, you know dramatic changes on the way, and that's what we've got heading into the weekend, upper 60s, low 70s.
Yeah, unfortunately, this nicer weather for the weekend does deal with the fact that we've got this severe weather threat for today, so kind of this clash of the air masses. It's been a quiet spring overall for us, with just a couple of storm warnings here and there, but until Monday, we hadn't had a tornado warning in our region, at least the mid-state, since December of last year.
And speaking of last year, we haven't had something this high of a threat, a 4 out of 5 in Middle Tennessee since last year. That was March 31st going into April 1st. So we really want to heed the warnings. Obviously, we can see things are already starting to form. Thankfully, as of right now, we have yet to get confirmation that something has been on the ground, but it has been indicated on the Power of 5 radars with that rotation. We're getting golf ball size hail now being reported over in Hillam area. Y'all, that can do some damage for sure. That is over in the Overton County location. Remember I showed you that hail core just a minute ago and how we discussed how it really went down as far as seeing it so prevalent on the screen? That's because the hail core was starting to fall, and that's probably why we are getting reports of that golf ball size hail, because earlier, Leland, it was just some pea-sized hail. Regardless, it is loud and of course, very rowdy out there this morning.
Yeah, definitely so. So we'll go back to radar now with the regular view here showing the rain and the thunderstorm activity moving in. In this view, you can see how the lightning count goes up with this. Let's go in a little bit closer for us and talk about some of the warnings that are out there. Just outside of our area, you've got Pine Knot and Oneida in Scott County, Tennessee. That's under the severe thunderstorm warning there. The bigger area in yellow, including Clay County, Pickett County, back into Overton County, you are now under the severe thunderstorm warning. I will note Jackson County for this particular cell is in the clear. That's for this particular cell. Our key phrase for today, not one and done. Not one and done, because you may have this storm cell get sunshine and think, oh, it's done. There may be more rounds of this for you later today, and especially for us for tonight. But the bigger concern right now for everybody is this storm warning, the tornado warning that is out over Overton County down toward Livingston. Still some pretty impressive hail that is showing up there on that color range. You're probably looking at a little over an inch, so maybe a half dollar or a ping pong ball size hail that is showing up. right through here where we've got this red and the green together. That's radar. The winds trying to be picked up on. How are the winds moving with this particular storm cell? And when you get the red, the green next to each other, that's where we've got a little bit of that rotation that is taking place. Here's a closer view of some of the hail now just inside of Overton County. Now you get into Clay County, there's still a little bit of hail, maybe some pea-sized hail that is could be happening your way, but the biggest of this right now is from just north to the northwestern area there of Livingston for us this morning. Quite a bit of rain, quite a bit of lightning. Now, we told you that Jackson County had been pulled from the warning. You're still getting some heavy rain your way. You're still getting some heavy lightning, but the threat for you has dropped below severe limits. So the Timothy Community, Allons, Unity, Oakley, you're all getting some heavy rain. That's where it's even heavier as you get a little south of Timothy here around Glasscock Cemetery Road, Andrew Cove Road. Still heavy rain around Rocky Mound Road, but a little heavier just to the east of you and along Beach Road there for you as well. To the east of this, you look around Allens, Hunter's Cove Road, Bob Martin Lane. Some of this is pushing your way as the storm cell continues to move east here at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So Livingston, Alpine, Cooktown, not Cookville, Double Top, and Jamestown are all communities that we are keeping an eye on. And again, Nikki D, as we hit 7:50, for now, this storm warning, tornado warning is out for another 10 minutes until we get to 8 o'clock.
It sure is, and we're getting confirmation. We just discussed that rotation. The rotation continues to weaken, and even though that is starting to weaken, we still have got to be mindful of the damaging wind gusts. We're getting reports of winds gusting over 60, 65 miles per hour, and that is causing some trees to go down. Would not be surprised if we had some power outages starting to spark in just a bit. So here's a look. If this continues, all red right around 8:03 this morning. A lot of lightning, very loud hail core that continues to fall out there this morning. And this is going to be the trend as these cells ride this line right along the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. And you can see how these hail cores, they build up and then they release, and they keep building up and releasing. It's really been an off and on reconstruction pattern right in the same spots throughout the entire portion of our morning. And because of that, we do have some flood advisories, areas just over to Stewart, Montgomery, Robertson counties. Y'all had a lot of rain earlier. You're dealing with a lot of ponding, and because we continue to get that rain right on top of you, it just is building. And that's exactly what we're also seeing where we do have some of these storms, that specifically that tornado warned storm just off to our far eastern location. So schools are out, which is a great news, but Livingston, heavy, intense rain for you. Alpine, you are about to get in the center of this really heavy rain and a lot of lightning as well as hail involved with it. When it comes to that rotation, again, with this particular warned storm, the rotation continues to decrease. Just because it is weakening does not mean we are in the clear. And a lot of that has to do with the intense winds coinciding ahead as well as within the system itself. And now we're getting reports of more flood advisories. Cheatham, Davidson, Macon, Robertson, Sumner counties, all of y'all now are coming in with that flood advisory. You can understand why, because they are riding right along this line. The lower locations that typically have poor drainage, please be mindful. Do not underestimate the power of standing water. 6 inches can knock somebody off. 1 foot can cause most vehicles to tumble. That sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? You think you got that big old dually. No, it can cause major issues. So keep that in mind, and especially since it's riding this same area over and over again, we're really not getting a variation in movement. So what we call it is training cells, one right on top of the other. And because of how they are moving, we're getting some of these, we call them the little outliers. They get a little too aggressive, a little too excited, and they go right out in front of that line. Well, when they do, that's when you start to get a notch and you start to see those winds try and cause some movement. So when it comes to our tornadic threat, The line we're really watching is as it moves its way southward, and that's one of the ones that we've been keeping a close eye on with this tornado warning. It is still warned via radar. We have not had any confirmation that anything has been on the ground. Regardless, it doesn't take much, and the severe limits with this are truly limitless, as we do have the rotation, we've got the hail, we've got the lightning, and we are dealing with a lot of wind on top of this. I mean, Leland, it's a really loud situation. Continue to stay in the center of your home or down in your basement until we are good to go with this cell itself. So they're going to let the tornado warning expire unless that rotation picks back up. But right now, we're looking good, and then that's going to continue into a severe thunderstorm warning. The reason being because those winds continue to be rapid. So that's going to be for the storm east of Overton, Pickett, and Fentress, with that tornado possible easing its way out. And Leland, we've got to concentrate. We've got areas everywhere dealing with some issues, especially when it comes to that flooding.
Yeah, so again, to emphasize that they're going to let that tornado warning expire at its normal time. Right now, it's set to expire at 8 o'clock, so we're going to be with you at least through 8 o'clock. If it picks back up, they may extend it, but for now, they plan to let that warning expire at 8 o'clock. Now, let's show you this map here that Nikki D was talking about. In addition to the storm warnings, I want you to be mindful of the fact that flooding is going to be a concern across the area for us today. So we've got Clarksville, Montgomery County, Robertson County, Sumner, Macon, Trousdale County, and now northern Davidson and Cheatham County under a flood advisory. And there's a concern there today because as rain happens on top of areas where it's already rain, that's going to aggravate things. As a matter of fact, let me take a look at our camera from Clarksville.
Stars.
And Clarksville now is already seeing over an inch of rain. And you may have seen just the rain gauge click over. So it's still raining right now in the Clarksville area. So you get the rain on top of rain. And then on top of what you've seen for the last couple of days, that may aggravate things. Meanwhile, from Cookeville, at the moment, at least at Tennessee Tech, not seeing a whole lot your way there, but just north of you is where that rain is heavy. So again, these are the warnings that are in effect. Big picture view is that, yeah, we've got some rain and storms west of here, especially along the Tennessee-Kentucky state line, but they are below severe limits. Even rain in northern parts of Davidson County, near Rivergate, back over near Goodlettsville, back into the southern part of Hendersonville. You've got some heavier rain right now, but it's this northeastern corner that we're going to keep an eye on. We've got about 4 more minutes, and the warning is likely to be expired unless they see the rotation pick back up with this. But as we go through the course of the day, need for you all to stay weather aware. So for the first time since March of last year, we've got part of the region under a 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather. That just kind of wants to bring home the point that severe weather is a concern today. Scattered today, more widespread for us for tonight, but it's the first time since March 31st and April 1st of last year that we've had this 4 out of 5 risk across our area. As we bring you back in right now and kind of keep an eye on this area here, Nikki D, still seeing a little bit of rotation that shows up with this, so we'll see if they continue this. But for now, they do show the rotation has been at least weakening a little bit as that storm cell continues to move eastward here at about 35, 40 miles per hour.
It's going to be interesting to see what the National Weather Service decides to do, because it has been quite consistent in having rotation, but as far as consistency within the strength of the rotation, it has slowly started to decline. But because of how things, there's another scan from another source that we can look at. It's going to be one of those that we'll see how the National Weather Service decides to call it. Regardless, this is still a severe situation. We want you to stay safe. If you're about to leave, please stay at your house just a little bit longer until we can get this past you, because visibility is practically zero right now, and our winds are gusting right around that 60 mile per hour mark. So
yeah, what they've decided to do is they are going to let the warning expire, the tornado warning, and what they've done now is they've continued this as a severe thunderstorm warning. So right now for you, Fentress County, those of you in the Jamestown area, the warning is being extended not as a tornado warning, but as a severe thunderstorm warning as they continue to watch rotation, but right now looks like it's at least below their threshold for issuing the tornado warning.
Which is some fantastic news. I was looking just over on Facebook, a few people asking what's going on off to the west, particularly over into Castella Springs, the Lebanon area. Yes, it is very windy for y'all, and it is incredibly electric. As of right now, you do not have any warned storms, but you are getting winds gusting around 40 miles per hour. If that does go up, there's a good chance that could turn into a severe thunderstorm warning. But right now, you do not have a warning. And as far as any amount of circulation, you're looking decent at this moment. So I want to put your heart to rest. Right now, though, Leland, thankfully that has been able to expire coming up at 8 o'clock. So in just 2 minutes from now. But of course, we're going to continue to keep a close eye on how things develop. Unfortunately, flooding is a concern, and a lot of times that gets swept to the wayside. It's just, oh, there's some standing water. But this line, that's what we're going to keep telling you over and over again. It is riding right along the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. These storms are training. They are not letting up. So it is going to be a very loud morning and potentially afternoon, pending what this line decides to do. So please be mindful. We never want to strike fear. We want you to know how to be informed. Make sure you're having discussions with your young ones, with your family members, letting them know how things are continuing to develop.
Yeah, and part of the dilemma for the forecast today is where does that boundary end up? The models didn't necessarily agree. They show the boundary coming in, but where does it stall out at before the front comes in tonight? The importance of that is wherever that boundary fires up or it kind of stays around, then we got the threat there for us for more rain, more thunderstorms.
Exactly.
You were mentioning to the west of that warning area. There we go out of Gallatin right now in a short amount of time. Look at the rain continues to come down. So over an inch of rain for us this morning. And again, host of schools are out. That list is on our website at newschannel5.com. Also, safe places, 2 in Hickman County right now. There may be some more that could open up to our east a little later today, but safe places at newschannel5.com.
And I love how you said open up, because just because they're not showing up on the list, that does not mean there's nowhere for you to go. They are going to open up as they are needed with severe storms moving in. And oftentimes here in the South, we get a saturating rain and it seems like, okay, that's going to fix our atmosphere. Today, not so much. Regardless on the rain or the cloud cover you keep, we're just so unstable, Leland, and this is a very intricate system.
Yeah, so again, kind of the key word for us for today is not one and done. We're going to have these storm cells kind of come in and out throughout the course of the day. If you get rain and then the sunshine comes out, don't be deceived by that. More rain's a possibility. And then this is a threat for us this afternoon through tomorrow morning.
Exactly. So have multiple ways to get alerts. We will continue to keep you informed and not frightened as this continues to develop.
All right. So more break-ins as needed if more tornado warnings are issued. An updated 8:25, and then she's back at News Channel 5 at 9 a.m. in less than an hour. We return you now to CBS Mornings in Progress.
This has been a Storm 5 alert.